Good afternoon, everyone. Back working in the garage again. I have to get this lawnmower done. It's been 2 weeks since I was working on it last, I think it is, somewhere around in there. And I have to get the hydraulic oil changed today and change out the blades and adjust the parking brake. And it should be all done. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be, well, it's like 45 degrees out right now. Tomorrow's supposed to be 45 again, so I'm going to be swapping out lawnmowers because this one will be done, and then I will bring in my the 52-inch cut with the bagger on it and get that all cleaned up and greased and blades changed, oil changed, and hydraulic oil changed on that too, so we can get all that done, and that way I will be ready to go for the spring here probably by the end of tomorrow, hopefully, unless something changes, but that's my plans for today and tomorrow, so let's get after it. Okay, first thing I have to do, there's a drain plug right here. So I have to pop that loose and pull that off. By popping that drain plug loose, it drains all the extra oil that's in the reservoir tank. So once I pop that loose, and then I just take the cap off the reservoir tank. It should drain out pretty good. Okay, while that oil is draining, I'm going to see if I get this filter off without making too much of a mess on me. And because I'm not a very patient person when it comes to waiting for oil to drain, so let's just get this apart. A little bit of dirt up there, it's not too bad. So then I'll just finish letting this drain out. Okay, oil's all drained out. I put the plug back in, and before I put this new Scag filter in, which is a Scag filter, I am going to show you exactly why I use a Scag. Oh, there it goes. Just what it says there. Specially designed filter assembly with no bypass to protect your hydraulic pump and motor. Do not use automotive type filter. So that is why I use Scag filter, because automotive filter, if it becomes plugged, it bypasses. This will not bypass. If this becomes plugged, it just quits working. And with pumps being about $500 to $700, I will stick with the Scag filter. It's only $10 more per filter. So just put a little bit of fresh oil around the O-ring and screw it back on. No, that's it. Whoops, sorry. And it is tight. Okay, now I just have to fill the reservoir. And I don't think I mentioned, but I'll mention it now. Before you put the hydraulic filter on, it's a really good idea to fill that up first. That way there's no air in your system when you start it up. At least you'll have oil through the whole system circulating. You don't have to keep checking the reservoir and everything. So I am not sure how much the reservoir holds. I can't remember. So I am just going to be putting oil in until it reaches the bottom of the sleeve, because that's what the recommended fill level is according to the book. And what I'm using is just the store brand of, oh, can you see that? Yeah, just the store brand of 20W50. So, And I've already added 1 quart to this, so we will see here. Okay. I filled up the oil filter with a partial jug from our leftover jug, and with these two, I filled up the hydraulic filter with part of another quart that was open, and then a full quart in the reservoir, and then looks like about 3/4 of a quart. So I'm thinking 2 quarts between the filter and the reservoir to fill this up. So now that this is all, I got the hydraulic oil all changed, I'm going to put the back of the engine back on, all the guards and everything. So I guess I'm going to speed that up for that part. Okay, that part's done. After sitting for 2 weeks and not remember where everything went, or actually it was 3 weeks ago that I took it apart, so put a couple of bars upside down, I had to take the bolts back off and just not remember where the bolts went, but I ended up figuring it all out. So since it's been sitting for 2 weeks, let's open up the garage door and get it started up and turned around so I can change the blades on it. I guess I should also mention it's 60 degrees in the shop, or in my garage here, so that's about where I keep it at for working, between 50 and 60, depends on how hard I'm working on stuff. If I'm doing a lot of wrenching, a lot of lifting stuff, it's about 50, and if I'm doing what I'm doing right now, it's like about 60. So let's get this thing lifted up. I'm gonna put my chain falls up and we'll get the blades changed. I went over this before. My chain fall is, I got a D-ring screwed into a joist there, and there's a pipe that runs across up on the other side there. It's all clamped in there, so everything's all good and solid there. And I just have a strap down here on the bottom that I just loop around and I pick it all up. So let's pick this thing up and get these blades changed. And I just used an impact to spin everything up. Okay, maintenance of the mower is over. I'm going to go over now is what I use to sharpen blades, because I sharpen all my own blades The brand new ones I put on there, I made sure they were balanced, because sometimes you get them and they're not balanced. Even though they are brand new, they're still not balanced. And when you got blades that are not balanced on your mower, you know it right away, because it vibrates and makes a lot of racket. So I just have a old grinder. Can you see that? I can see that a little bit. And I just like a little bench or a table, I guess, on wheels that I move around the shop whenever I need it. And it's just a bunch of scrap wood that I used and I had laying around. And the old casters there, I had them off of an old cart that I just got rid of. And this grinder, I could not tell you how old this is. I bought it at a garage sale about 10 years ago. And the reason why I wanted it, I don't think I will spend $10 on it, is because of how this tilts right there. So I got that tilted at a 35-degree angle, and then I just kind of enclosed it a little bit. And I did it on a afternoon, and I never really got around to finishing it. And I have just a cheap one, a balance cup sitting on the top there, and it's just glued on there so it isn't going anywhere. And eventually I'm gonna have to do something with this because it's starting to lean forward, so I just gonna have to fix that. So what I do is when I take a set of blades off, I just throw them on the bottom here, and then I get some time in the afternoon through the summer, a little bit bored or look for something to do, I just come out and sit down on my chair and just sharpen blades. So sets of blades I took off the 48 needs to be sharpened. Let's sharpen them up. Put my earplugs in and away we go. that's all I do for it. They're not perfect, but they're sharp on the ends and they're balanced. So you can see, you know, they're not perfectly straight, but these are also not brand new blades, and they went through all fall. I put them on probably October, and then I just sharpened them now, so they held their sharpness pretty well. Okay, everything is done on that mower finally. I don't have to worry about that for the beginning of the season. And tomorrow, probably tomorrow, or maybe the next day, I'll be switching these mowers out and start on the other one. Get that oil changed and the hydraulic oil changed, and everything all adjusted up and everything all set and ready to go. So I guess that's going to be the end of my video. And again, I wanted to mention that the links to some of my equipment is down in the description below, and then if you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out. I do get a little bit of a commission on it from Amazon, but other than that, it's mostly for everybody else to just take a look at. So that's going to be the end of my video for today. So everybody have a good evening, and we will see you at the next yard.